Okay, I'm going to try to get through this. We got a whole bunch, and it's more sharing stuff, and whether you care to hear this or not, that's up to you. It'd be great if you stuck around, but I'm just, with everything moving digital, everything as far as, movies and music, for the most part, a lot of people don't go buy CDs anymore, records like they did back in the day, even DVDs, a lot of that, it's all digital for the most part. You can buy a digital movie that you keep on someone else's hard drive, whether that's through Vudu or Amazon or Netflix or whatever. Same with books. I mean, to read on your Kindle or your other digital devices, you can buy a book, but you just get the digital form. You don't get real physical form. And I've always shied away from that. I always want the physical deal here because everything else is on someone else's hard drive. And if they don't like something, they want to change something, they don't think I should have that anymore or whatever. Power's out. Lose power. And a book you can still read. Anyways, I'll skip around from that. So everything's going there, and I'm thinking, I went to a lot of concerts in my life. And from there I got concert stubs, and I always saved them. And for this, I was just going through them. I was like, all the memories. There's people that are no longer here anymore with us that I went to concerts with. There's people that I no longer talk to really for one reason or the other. That I used to live by them. I no longer live by them. Or whatever that I went to concerts with. Those memories come about. And then all the stuff that I had done, all the experiences that I had. If I wouldn't have those stubs from the concerts, those concert tickets, some of those memories I think would be lost, and probably lost forever, because there's nothing that sparks up that memory at all. So I'm just going through this. I'm like, I really feel like they're taking away the physical and the relationshipness of what it is to be human. I mean, what it is to live. Maybe that sounds harsh, but that's the way I feel about it. So for there, maybe I'm just trying to say, what else can we do? Maybe start taking photos with a digital camera versus your phone. I don't know. Maybe then you have to put them on your computer physically and go through them or whatever. I don't know if it's going to help or not. Same with videos. Use something other than just your phone. Because if anything like people I know, it just sits on your phone. You don't really see the photos very often. You don't watch the videos really. And if you do, it's on the little phone instead of, spending the time. You get your videos together, then you put it on a disc, and then you watch it together with family. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work, but the memories and the camaraderie and the sharing, it's huge. Same with pictures. But anyways, I'm just skipping around a little bit. So maybe if you have, just you start scrapbooking. It doesn't have to be your full-fledged scrapbooking, but it's just saving photos, saving memories from different trips, different things you've done. Yourself, or you with your spouse, or you with your spouse and children, or just you with one of your children, or both of them, or all of them, or your grandchildren, or your parents, or your friends, your buddies, whatever. Just if you start keeping track of that, then it's always there to look back upon. It's really not there for anyone else. Anyone else wants to see it, but it's always there for you, for that memory, because it won't get lost. And I think that's so essential. It's such a huge thing that we're losing going digital with everything. I also, a grandfather of mine, he has all these stories, and he grew up and he was in the Navy, and he has all these life events. And ever since I was younger, I've always asked him about things because I was interested. That was just the way I was. And he told me stories here and there and things throughout his life. And then as time progressed, I would bring some of those up again. Then he would go in a little more depth or a little more detailed, or he would do another story that this reminded him of, because I sparked his memory there. And I was together with a couple people in my family, and I was sitting there with my wife and stuff, and we're playing cards, and we're bringing this up, and I brought this up about my grandfather and about the things he had done, some of the things he did, and some of the stuff he had told me. And she's like, Well, I had no idea Grandpa did that kind of stuff. I had no idea. I didn't know he did that. I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know he liked that. I didn't know he was here and there. I didn't know this was experience. I said, yeah. And she said, how do you know? I said, well, because I talked to him. I asked him. And then talking to other people, it's like no one else had really asked. No one else had, whether they cared to or not, no one else had thought about it. Me, which is great, but now I'm feeling like there's so much more there that I haven't gotten, that he hasn't shared because no one's prompted him to do that. It's just going to be lost. And whether you think, oh, whatever, that's just someone, no big deal, that's fine if you want to think that. But I think it's something historical, whether it's family or it's just history that you don't read about, that someone doesn't tell you about, that was from a book. It's actual history from events in someone's life. I know my wife's grandfather, he wrote this whole, a few-page note about his events and about things when he was in the service, and about how he saw his wife that was in England, and he didn't even know her then, and that he'd pointed out that that's the woman I'm going to marry, and the whole story of that and that kind of stuff. I sat there and read that thing. It was maybe 4 pages, now I think about it, more than 2 pages. And I didn't really know her grandfather that well. I met him a few times before he passed years ago, but it was great for me to read this. It was great that he put that on paper for other people if they cared to see it. So the memory's not lost. It's there. It's something for the family. That's just me, but if you bear with me a little bit, I'm going to go through some stuff, and I'll be a little scrambled. But like I said, I went to a lot of concerts, and I mean, I'm just looking at this huge thing of these concert tickets. I'll start showing some, and I'll bring some stuff up, some memories. And if you don't care to see it, that's fine. But I just thought this is a great way to hold memories and to share stuff. Like I got these 2 things here, these concert tickets from Ween, the band Ween. I don't know if you heard of them or not, but let's see, there's different times. So like this one, just the dollar amount. The first one cost me $17. The second time I went cost me $28. On that note, I got some things here. I got Tool, the band Tool I went to multiple times. And let's see, you got this. There's 1 ticket. Here, I'll just try to get them all together. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are all the Tool tickets. I think I went a couple more times, but these are the stubs I still have. And on one, if I get, this is $36.50 before charges to see them. And then later, $45 to see them. And then after that, $55 to see them. And then, the first time I ever saw Tool, which is pretty amazing, it was $12. I don't know if that focuses at all, but I just think that's a story in itself. $12 for this band, which I haven't seen for quite a while, but it looks like tickets you're not going to get there unless you're close to $100 for any tickets. We got Opeth, so I got memories there that I had come across, and I saw that. I got Stone Temple Pilots here, and this was Stone Temple Pilots. And they weren't really, the headlining band was Butthole Surfers, and then Stone Temple Pilots. So no one really heard of Stone Temple Pilots that well. They were just up and coming. So I thought this is a great story. This cost me $19.50 to see the 4 bands that were there. Butthole Surfers, Stone Temple Pilots, Failure, and one other band was there, I can't remember. And then I got, there's Down. Oops, just dropped that. It's the band Down. I got one other ticket that I just dropped on the floor for Down 2. That was from First Avenue. And then I got Korn, and this was $19.50 to see Korn there. And then later to see Korn, it was $36.50, I think. It says, yep. And then I have Beck. You know, Beck is. It does not have the amount on there. When I went in, they took the stub. This was 94, so I think that was the same year I went to Tool. It was 94, and that cost me $12, so I'm guessing this is going to be right around the $15 range. Saw ZZ Top multiple times, and let's see, what do we got? We got 26, 75, and then 50, 50. And I just dropped the other ticket. That was one of them. And Peeping Tom. I don't know if you know who Mike Patton is, but that's Peeping Tom. This is a stub from Peeping Tom. This is when they stopped ripping them, really, when they just started scanning them. Like a lot of mine are ripped and torn when they used to do it like that. Then I got another ZZ Top here. That was when we saw him. We were in the balcony. Great seats. I got Marilyn Manson, The Offspring. I'll try to burn through this. Deftones, and I'm not going to get to them all, but I thought at least I'll do some sort of sampling. Superjoint Ritual. Now I believe it's just Superjoint. Motorhead. What else do we have here? We have Tomahawk. Mr. Bungle. If I can get that shown in there. And then some of these are hard to read too. I can't even see what that says. Alanis Morissette. And let's see what we have. We have Insane Clown Posse. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. That was a great show. And the crowd themselves were all dressed up and dancing too. We have Nine Inch Nails, REM. I don't know if you can even read that. They're getting faded. Which I should try to preserve these better, as I'm seeing here and showing these. And we have Ozzy, Gwar. I've been to Gwar many times. See, I always wear a white T-shirt when you go to Gwar, because it would be sprayed multiple colors, multi-colors. So that's part of their shtick, part of their deal. I'm just trying to go through some other stuff here. I know I have a Tori Amos somewhere. Deftones, I've seen Tori Amos a few times. I just have them all piled up here that I'm trying to. Def Leppard. What else do we have? Oh, another Opeth. Another Tool. We have Rollins Band. If you can, am I covering that up? I don't know. And then Henry Rollins' Spoken Word tour that he did. That's Tool there. And then this one is another Slipknot. And Edgefest. And then X-Fest, which has multiple deals. Lollapalooza. So there I saw Smashing Pumpkins, Beastie Boys, Faith No More, just a plethora of bands. And I'm trying to find that at Tori Amos, but it doesn't matter. It just looks like another ticket stub. Another Tomahawk. Another Down. Another ZZ Top. I don't know if I showed one. ZZ Top, yeah, I did. I showed the balcony one too. So I'm just trying to get through these, but I have some other things here too. That these ones are a little more. They're a little more special, if I can say it like that. I got these in like a protective deal. This is Fantomas, and this one's also Fantomas at a different time. Both Fantomas. So I have Mike Patton's autograph there, along with Trevor Dunn and his name escapes me, from Slayer, the drummer. He's also the drummer for Fantomas. Jeepers Creepers. Why can't I think of his name? It'll have to come to me. I have on Edgefest 2 also. And so I'll get his name. So then I have this one here. This is from Ozfest 97. So if you look at the back, and then you look at the front, this was, I met Coal Chamber, all of them signed my ticket stub, and then Coal Chamber Reina was a bass player at the time. She also, that's hers with the heart there. She also signed my T-shirt, my Beck T-shirt I had, which that's somewhere. That just said, Love Reina. So that was pretty cool. Good memories there. I also have one time when I went to another Pantera show, I caught one of Dimebag's picks from the concert. That's his pick there that he threw out. And then this one here is, what year was this? 94. I saw Pantera 2450 in 94, and that's Phil Anselmo's signature. So I met him. And there's a bigger story to that versus just meeting him. I just met Mike Patton. I just met, Trevor Dunn. I just met Coal Chamber, said a few words, and that was about it. But the time I got this signature from Phil, from Pantera, my cousin was in town. We were in Minnesota. My cousin was from New York at the time. And I believe that's when the other huge concert was going on over there in New York that had Limp Bizkit and all those other deals, all those other huge bands at the time there. But we're hanging out, and the concert's done, and we're sitting there. It was an outdoor stage, and we're back by these huge metal gates, and we're standing there waiting. There was me, my buddy, my cousin, and then two other friends of ours there. The five of us, and then probably 40 other people that are just, still after the show. And there was thousands at the show. I mean, so much. The barrier went down, and then Phil had to come out on stage and said, guys, you got to get back. They won't let us play. We told them you can come up on stage, all that stuff, as long as you don't mess with our stuff, but they will not allow us because of, the county deal. So you got to get back so they can install another barrier so we can get on and play. But there's other stuff to that. It was a crazy concert. But anyway, so we're out there waiting, after everyone left, besides the roughly 40 of us. And then 1 hour goes by, another hour goes by, and then a third hour goes by. And then the crowd's really dwindled. I mean, there's not 40 after every hour. People left. Two of our buddies left. So it was me, a buddy, and then my cousin, and then a few other people. And I think we hit the 3.5 hour mark, and we've been standing there waiting. Mind you, we had no water, nothing, just waiting, because we thought it's our time, it's our chance to get back there to see the band. So eventually, probably 3.5 hours later, we just start walking. We're like, all right, it's not going to happen. We just start walking away. A guard comes to the gate. He said, guys, all right, since there's only a few of you, come on back. And it was like, wow, it was amazing. So we turned around, we went backstage, and we saw a few from Prong was there at that show, and then Pantera and stuff, and a few other bands. But we didn't see anyone else from Pantera, except Phil. I mean, we're looking and no one else is there from Pantera but Phil, and he's sitting on a picnic table, sitting on the top of it, the table part of it, his legs on the seat, and he's got, like, I don't know, probably 15 kids on, either side combined. So 7, 8, either side, that kind of stuff. And he's just talking, and they're just BSing, and he's drinking beer, and they're smoking pot and that kind of stuff, and I just walked straight up to him, just cut through everything, and I just said, Phil, and I just put my hand out, and he stood up, he shook my hand, and then and he's like, guys, I got to go, so he said, I got something to do, I'll be back. So he walks out, and then myself, my buddy, and my cousin follow him, and just past the bus there. And I'm like, Phil, you stop. Well, you just give me a few minutes. So he turns around, and then shake his hand again, and then you just start BSing. And we're talking music, we're talking, this and that, and how his tour's been, and I got to rub his head this back when he had a shaved head and stuff, and it was pretty amazing and pretty surreal. And we probably talked with him for maybe, it felt like 10 minutes, it was probably only like 5 or 6 minutes. The three of us talked to him. But it was really cool. And I'm thinking now, if I didn't have this stub, what could he have signed? I mean, if I didn't have this stub, what would that band have signed? If I didn't have these stubs, what would they have signed? I know the time I met Mike Patton, he also signed my cap. So he gave me 2 signatures. I still have the cap, but a hat's a hat, It's cool, but I just think it's so much cooler to have, the actual ticket stub from the show you were at, and you met one or all of the members, and you got their signatures. I went to Dangerous Toys, and I don't have a ticket stub for that because there was no ticket stub. But I ended up meeting them, all of them, at the end, and I remember a buddy of mine I was with, they had these posters of Dangerous Toys on the walls, for their come see them, they're coming, the announcement, and he pulled one off the wall because they didn't care. They're like, yeah, we're just going to trash this stuff. Pulled off the wall, and he gave it to me. He's like, here, take this. You go meet them all. There, you can sign this. So that's what I did, which was great. I was thankful I had that there. I actually have that framed. But with no stub, not saying everyone's going to meet all the musicians or all the people from these events, whether it's Monster Jam or whatever else that people are going to, that you're going to meet these people to have something to sign. But I just think it's even without the signatures, without meeting the people, I just think it's just such a remembrance, such a tool to remember all the stuff that went along with it, all the people that were there. You can just almost remember the smell, the feeling, the weather. And if it was outside show, I mean, you can. It's crazy. It's amazing. And I fear that that's what we're losing. We are really losing that, and humanity is going to lose this. And once it's gone, it's gone. Because once you stop doing these things, stop having these things, it's no longer expected, and people no longer do it. And good or, for the good or for the bad. I'm fearful that these are all going to be gone. I know, just one other note on this. We went to Knotfest. By we, myself, my wife, and my 2 kids, went to Knotfest in 2021, sorry, so just last year. And that was the concert I talked about, with over 30,000 people were there. And that's where I said, out of 30,000, maybe I saw 5 masked people, period. But it was how it used to be. No one was worried about anything. Everyone was friendlier than friendly could be. You couldn't have found a friendlier crowd of people, individuals, if you looked for them. But that's just humanity. That's the way it is, and that's the way it needs to go back to. That's the way it should be. Underneath everything, that's the way people are. It's just there's this struggle and this show, WWE style politics, that people are allowing to tear apart and to lose their humanity and lose their soul and to lose their memories, which is my main focus for this talk. I wish I could find some more to show you, but tickets are tickets. Which you've seen some, and like I said, there's Tori Amos and she's a whole bunch of other Disturbed. Tom Waits, that kind of stuff. So White Zombie, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get through. There's just this pile, and they make good memories, every single one of them. And I feel that we're losing that. So my whole thing to you is my suggestion is do what you can to preserve those memories. Do what you can to save them. Take pictures. Write notes and keep them. Scrapbook. Start doing that if you can. I don't do that. I'm thinking maybe I have to for my kids' sake to get them involved in that. So I don't lose this physical memory tool that's being lost. And it's not just tickets. It's everything. I mean everything, because everything's going digital and there's nothing there to hold. Just like I talked about the books and stuff. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's probably long, but I did enjoy sharing some of that stuff. I wish it was a little more organized. But anyways, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, that kind of stuff. And as always, stay vigilant, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your health, and protect your wealth.